Okay, we're off to a completely different area about a mile away. Searching the woods in a very potentially productive spot. And we got a great tree falling over situation next to a creek. But no glass. By the way, we're not in Salisbury anymore. We are in Spencer. This creek has many bottles in it. Or did, I'm sure. This is the same creek I was looking at earlier today. It's just that this is a different section of it. There are a lot of bottle collectors in this area. This town is very modern actually because it didn't start till 1905. But it grew extremely quickly. Had a Pepsi plant already around 1909. Had another soda plant with a railroad image. Picture of a locomotive or something on the front of it. The train bottle they call it. And there's a very rare orange crush bottle from here. There we go, we got a 1960 7-Up. Okay, we found something rather interesting. It's embossed. It's not a soda, but that would maybe make an interesting drinking glass. It's shaped like a drinking glass, and it's big enough to hold a large 12-ounce serving. I just don't know if it's curving before the embossing. Will I be able to saw it off? Well, I'll take it home and try it. And that bottle might just be the oldest bottle ever thrown away in this town, because that is a 1905 type bottle, or 1906. Do you see what I see? This is for real. It's just real life. There's a straight side of Pepsi sticking out right here. Is it going to be intact? Feels like it is. It is intact. It's too bad it isn't the older one from this town. It's from Charlotte and it's just a block print, but I'm not going to complain about finding a 100-year-old Pepsi basically on top of the ground. It's in perfect condition too. The fact that nobody saw that is rather amazing. I know people have searched this creek. It is right off of Main Street and 12th. So yeah, if you want to come here and check it, go ahead. And another bottle, but I'm thinking that's just a painted label Coke from the 60s. But I think if you were to dig into the bank, you would find some glass. I just probed it. But it was just so sparse and it was down about 2.5 feet, so I'm not even 100% sure it was glass. The layer was only like 2 or 3 inches, if it's even a layer at all. Well, we got a piece of an embossed Coke down there. Okay, I've been cruising around looking for potential spots, even though I've been here a number of times over the last 11 years. Heck, it might have been 21 years ago that I was here. Because I did come to North Carolina on dig trips before I actually moved here. And this place certainly looks like it has to be a dump. Even has a sign over there that says no dumping. Which means they're tired of people dumping here. Got to be bottles somewhere over here, even though I've checked it before. It's such a large piece of land that maybe just 1% of it is actually a dump, and I missed that somehow. So let's have another try. Mustn't forget to stop and smell the roses, or whatever kind of flowers these happen to be. We've got a deep creek right here. Very narrow, but very deep. I'm not seeing any glass in there. I'm sure bottle collectors have been here and checked it out already many times. Such an obvious looking place, but I don't think there's any digging taking place here ever. But I'm going to continue to probe random spots all throughout here. And this is a really big piece of land yet again, right between Main Street and the railroad track. But yet it's at least 10 acres. And there's a gigantic bank about 20 feet high right there that is definitely a landfill. Why would there be a landfill that close to downtown? It's probably loaded with 1960s bottles. I don't know. Something about the size of it makes it seem like it's got to be pretty modern. And you can see some cement slabs sticking out over there, which is going to make it impossible to dig it anyway. There might be some 100-year-old stuff way down 12 feet into it, but I'm not going to spend that amount of effort just on a slight possibility that it's ever going to get to that age. And a bit over this way we have another very interesting spot. It seems like the kind of spot a dump would be, especially since the railroad tracks are right up there. If they were going to dump off the railroad, this would be the spot. Although it's all covered up with rotting railroad ties right there. And of course that's where all the bottles would be. Okay, we got a brand new housing project about to happen over here. It's all marked off with everything, but for some reason somebody dug with a backhoe right here. And there's some bottles sticking out right there. So let's have a look at what they are. Yeah, it's not very old. From 1947 maybe? But that's to be expected considering we are so far on the outskirts of town. Yeah, they've dug a number of those all along here. Don't know what they're for, but there was a row of houses here in 1914, so I'm trying to salvage what I can before they build brand new houses on this. We had a lot of rain. You can see right there is a shard of a 1930 soda. Yeah, there was a number of houses along here, like 10 of them. Wow, talk about a lot of rain. Yeah, that's why I don't like digging in this side of town, because when I dig a privy, I'm going to go only 14 inches and I'm going to hit water. But I do know where some privies already are. But that's going to happen for sure, because they're right across the street from here. Yeah, that is a lot of water building up in these. And every one of these holes has at least one or two broken shards of glass next to it. But as we get into the wood line, there's a broken White House jar over there, and there's all kinds of bottles scattered about. Not very old, but wait a second. There's a straight side of Pepsi from the early 20s. There's a lot of debris in this little tiny trench. And tons of surface bottles. Very interesting. I know I've seen this area before, but why are there bottles on top of the ground that are worth keeping that I missed? That looks like an embalming fluid, but no name on it, so. But what about this? Of course it's broken, but it looks like a 1915 because of the color. Yeah, there's really nothing worth keeping here, so I probably have seen these. I'm sure I have. It may have been 10 years ago. The railroad tracks are right there. I remember searching the strip really thoroughly. So it's back to probing. Okay, I just found this on the surface. It's a little bit faded out, but it's probably worth a few dollars anyway. I think I'll bring that back with me. We are in cheerwine territory after all. We got a giant tree fell off right on the edge of the railroad bank. And right next to that we got one of these cement outhouse foundations. So let's probe over this way next to it. Yeah, I don't think they should be building here. This is sort of a flood zone. I mean, look at that. It's filled up all the way. No need to build houses in a flood zone. Why do you think they tore down the last row of houses that were here? Strange. There's a coffee jar or peanut butter jar. Whatever kind whatever food product they wanted to have in reusable mason jar lid type thing. I think it's worth a few dollars. Yeah, a lot of shards of glass over this way. Again, they're fairly modern though. Could be a 1950s privy right there. Okay, if you saw my earlier Spencer digging videos from probably 6 years ago, then you know I've dug a lot of privies out here. I got another one right here. Only got about an hour and 15 minutes of light left, and got a Clorox bottle on top of the ground. I'm hoping that's not a sign that it's just going to be a 1949 privy. But let's open it up and see what's in there. Just like I thought, it's dripping water off the probe. It's going to hit water at 15 inches. So I just don't want to bother because it's just going to frustrate me to get all muddy and wet, and I'm never going to get to the bottom until we have a drought. So I think we'll just have to save it again. Been saving several holes out here for however many years it's been, maybe 3 or 4 since the last time I came out here. Okay, we're going to a vacant area on the very far outskirts of town, on a road that's at least 110 years old. I saw a number of bottles just scattered randomly about, so it caught my attention. If nobody's ever looked through here, then it might produce some good stuff. Nope. Those are some long thorns right there. It's like a pile of bottles, but they don't look very old. Maybe a moonshiner dumped them. Sure looks like it. It's all mason jars. Not the good kind either. We've got a round bottle. Could it be a giant milk bottle? No, it doesn't have the right shape. But some of these are worth something, maybe. That's worth something. It takes a mason jar lid, so then we got some interesting brands here. A Crown Mason. I don't see those ever in the wild. So let's have a look at these. A ball. Nope, don't like those. Kerr, I hate those even more. Plain Jane. And a genuine Mason. Maybe that'll go home with me. Nope, nothing good about that one. Got a small one here. It's Atlas Hazel, so yeah, I think just because it's a small one, I'll take that. Maybe that one as well. Let's see, what else have we got here? It's super heavily embossed, but has anybody ever bought one of those before? I don't know. What do we got? Is that a lamb? Yeah, I figured there'd be some lambs because we're in North Carolina. Lamb jars are super common in North Carolina. Another product jar, but it's got a chip. So, yeah, let's continue. Okay, we got a few more just laying out. It's gonna need some tumbling, and I'm not gonna tumble a jar like that. Another lamb, another one of those. Yeah, let's take them back to the car. And we just found, is that a refrigerator bottle, or is it the White House? It looks like one of those White House flasks, but it's really big, so I don't know. It looks like more of a refrigerator bottle to me. Bring that one with us. Okay, we got the medium size now, and it's a different brand. It's a Knox big bold embossing, so we're definitely going to keep that one. Okay, we found a melted magnesia. That's always nice. And another one, well hidden, and it's also embossed, so that's a nice score. Some kind of a soda, but the paint's gone, but at least it was intact. Could it be a round milk bottle? It is, but it's a slicky, dang it. Oh well, I'll probably bring it back anyway. Okay, I found a curve, but that's kind of weird because the embossing is really small. I don't understand why they would put the embossing made for pint onto a half gallon is what it looks like. So I might bring that back because I just don't know if I've ever seen one like it. There's kind of like a hidden dirt road right here, so you can tell. And a fallen log kind of blocking it down there. That's an interesting spot. We might have to go check it for a possible official town dump from the 20s. Trash pile right here. Got a pile to check here. Not looking quite old enough. So I guess that's a no. My battery's about to die. We better take some of these bottles back to the truck. Okay, I walked down that dirt road and not finding a whole lot, but one of the early paper label ones, and it's got a 46 on the bottom, so I think I'll bring that back since we're not finding much out here yet. Okay, finally a bit of a garbage heap, but it definitely looks too modern. But there's the number of pails and buckets and cans over here. So, it's all metal. Where's all the glass? Okay, somehow we missed this pile. It's real close to where we started out at, and there's a milk on top of the ground. But it's another blank. Dang it. Oh well. Better than nothing. And the first sign of a blue one, but of course it's broken. And we got a lid. First lid too. It's kind of smashed. I don't know if I could straighten that out or not. Guess I'll bring it home and maybe try it, but wait a second, what do we got over here? Several more. Yeah, those look like they're in good shape. I'll bring those. And what's that? Another one? It's kind of smashed. Yeah, that'd be a real tough repair. Okay, we ran onto a well. I guess there was a house here after the 1914 map because it doesn't show one here. So we got a hubcap. It could be something interesting. It is. I've never seen one like it. It's nice and straight too, so just needs repainting and polishing, and that could be worth $30. Okay, we got some kind of flask that looks a little bit different than any I've ever seen. It's got 3 presidential faces on it, it looks like. I can't believe I've never seen one like it before. Probably from the very late 40s, where I hardly ever dig anything from that time period, so I haven't seen one before. Okay, we got a good one here. A Hormel that takes a mason jar lid. That's got to be worth $8 or $9. Nope, there is a mason jar lid. It's nice and straight, so that's a good one. Oh, and we got another one still attached to the jar. Getting too close to somebody's house. I don't want to cause anybody to get scared or anything. Okay, we're coming up to a creek. Way out there. Really far from the road, like 400 feet. So it's not likely to have any bottles in it, but we've got about 10 minutes of daylight left. Let's check it out anyway, because what else are we going to do for the next 10 minutes? There's a bottle right there. No, not very old, but it's at least a sign that there could be something here. Guess we'll just have to enjoy a nature shot for a minute or two.